Oh, what the
And it was so boring.
Is that what I think it is?
Mm-hmm.
It's beautiful.
I hate them.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That was so awful. You can't handle the truth.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of See It, Stream It, Skip It, the Metro News affiliated movie podcast where we talk about if the movies playing in theaters are worth your time. I'm your host, Ethan Collins. You may know me as Producer Ethan if you listen to Talkline very heavily. I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Celeste Ellis.
Hello.
And without further ado, Celeste, what do you say we just get into the first trailer?
Let's go.
All right, roll it.
Call Gary into my office. There is a situation here.
I assure you you'd like to listen. The alternative is very expensive.
Gary! Get them out of my office now.
Gary, a moment. There are two versions of how this narrative plays out.
Exhibit A.
Gary waits patiently and quietly by the door.
Exhibit B.
Gary steps forward and you spend the next 6 hours sponging him off the walls. I know which version Gary would prefer. Gary.
Bronco and Sid will now solve it their way.
Love the shirt.
It's silk.
Of course it is.
I just told you. It's silk.
This is Salazar's island. The police are on payroll, and he has a reasonably experienced private army. Tick every box.
Tick every tuck.
Lube every wheel.
Lick every stamp.
They work between the moral and the immoral. The black and the white. They operate in the gray.
Show me what you got.
I foresee a problem. I am aware that there is a 300-foot deep untraversable ravine, but if you give yourself enough runway, build up some speed, and flap your arms like so,
it should take the bump out of the landing.
In the Gray, directed by Guy Ritchie and starring Henry Cavill, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Isa Gonzalez, when a covert of elite operatives are living in the shadows, when a ruthless despot steals $1 billion fortune, they're sent to take it back. An impossible heist that erupts into a deadly game of strategy, deception, and survival. And that synopsis is not as exciting as this may seem. Celeste?
Yeah, I was going to say, from that synopsis, I should have liked this movie a lot more than I ended up liking it.
You should have said Guy Ritchie, and I was intrigued. I mean, that's how we were.
Yes. As soon as I heard Guy Ritchie, Jake Gyllenhaal, Henry Cavill, I was like, can't lose. And then I saw the movie, and I said, oh, I guess you can lose.
Big fat L.
Yeah. There are, in my opinion, a lot of issues with this. I think most of it comes down to the writing. The plot takes forever and somehow still feels rushed. Like they try to fit all of the plot into a small section of the movie. A lot of it is just planning. And normally I like heist movies. I like planning. But this just takes too much of the runtime of the film. And it doesn't really get you anywhere. There's no big payoff. I know that's a little bit of a spoiler, but I don't think that I can spoil this enough. Like, I couldn't explain it to you if I had not heard those synopsis. I would have a hard time explaining to you exactly what's happening in the film.
I described this as it felt like a Call of Duty video game campaign mission. Now, I know you're not a big video game player, but if I were to describe this as a story mission in a shooter video game, would that be sufficient enough for you?
Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying. It does really feel like
cool vehicles doing cool things and shooting people.
Right. Like the visuals are there, definitely. It looks great. I really like Guy Ritchie's style. So I like he does the Guy Ritchie typical things of text overlaying, you know, kind of the jokes are sort of written out over the screen. I like that aspect. It looks fantastic. But somehow all of these great qualities mixed together to make something extremely boring to watch.
All right, so I'm going to throw a few questions out for you. I'll let you answer really quickly, and then if I have anything I need to add, I will add it as well. My biggest issue in this movie was the chemistry between Henry Cavill and Jake Gyllenhaal. You thought that would be a slam dunk home run. It turned out to be a strikeout in the dirt swinging.
So these two actors have chemistry with everyone else that they act with. They just can't have any chemistry together. I don't know if there was
I've said too much ego.
I don't know if there was some sort of weird relationship on set, but it's like the humor just doesn't land. Like they're kind of phoning it in. It feels like it's a really wooden performance. And Henry Cavill, who is usually a star of Guy Ritchie projects, his sort of like deadpan humor really works with the Guy Ritchie style. They don't give him enough to do in this. They let Jake Gyllenhaal handle most of the speaking roles, and he does that poorly. His humor's not coming through, and he's using a really horrendous Boston question mark accent. I don't know what it's supposed to be.
Out.
Yeah, he's not convincing as sort of the sly, cool guy, sarcastic character that he's trying to play. And I love Jake Gyllenhaal. I've seen him be fantastic. I've seen him be funny in a lot of other projects. It's just he doesn't have it here. I don't know what happened, but this is a total miss with the casting.
The one who has the most speaking lines in this movie is Isa Gonzalez. Now, I liked her in Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. I really liked her in Baby Driver, which was the first thing I ever saw her in. This was a not so likable role, and it just didn't fit her.
I don't think she fits the character. I think she seems too young to play the character that's supposed to have as much power as she has. And it doesn't feel like she's acting. It really seems like she's reading memorized lines throughout the whole thing. Like, if you told me that she was reading off of cue cards for 80% of this movie, I would really believe it.
Like you say, doesn't really have a lot of payoff. And the thing that bothered me the most, and the reason why I put that last joke into the trailer that we played, you talked about the Boston accent. I had a huge problem with the Boston accent because it was there sometimes, and then other times it was just completely Jake Gyllenhaal being Jake Gyllenhaal. This movie felt honestly rushed, like they had a budget and a deadline, and they only had like a month to complete this movie, it felt like. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, yeah. It does feel like they sort of didn't know where they were going, that maybe they had the set out already and just thought, what can we do with this? That's how it feels. It doesn't feel like it's a cohesive storyline. Yeah, really disjointed, not a lot of payoff, too slow to start, and then also too rushed once it gets going. So the worst of both worlds, I think.
Final verdict here, see this, stream this, or skip this.
This is a skip it from me.
Skip it entirely.
Skip it entirely. Watch The Gentleman. Watch Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Watch The Man from U.N.C.L.E. These are all superior Guy Ritchie projects.
I tend to agree. I think I'm going to say skip it as well. Don't even watch it at home. Don't even illegally stream this if that's your thing. But yeah, this movie just isn't worth your time. All right, we're going to wrap things up on In the Gray and then come back with boosters right after this break.
Get me out of here. Hey. Get me out of here.
What's wrong?
You talking in your sleep again?
Designer Christy Smith is giving an award.
Because your design didn't win?
Mine was too weird to win. When I'm designing, I feel like I'm touching the world. Christy Smith stole my design.
Gotta get it back for that.
Is there a mistake with the checks?
Mine's is 38.
You're silencing me? Your dismissive language just shut down my very thoughtful explanation.
Please read the sign.
Look, you hate Christy Smith. We hate Christy Smith. I have a plan. Together, we empty out every single Metro designer in the Bay Area. Grab them wigs. I feel like I should have it all. It's mine anyway.
All you boosters just take.
Like you.
It's all gone.
It's not even that yellow in here anymore.
I Love Boosters, directed by Boots Riley and starring Keke Palmer, Naomi Ackie, Taylor Page, and Demi Moore. Welcome to a new world of style. A fearless crew of innovative young women turn shoplifting into a radical act of defiance. The floor is yours, Celeste.
I really like this movie. I think this is a future cult classic. If you had a Venn diagram and on one side is David Lynch surrealism and on the other side is blaxploitation films, this is the middle where they both meet. It's very over the top. It's very stylized, but I think that really adds to it. This is very colorful, beautiful to see. It also has a very weird, over-the-top plot. I love the acting performances. This is, for me, an overall delight to watch in the theater.
To me, I'm just going to sum it up. I thought this movie was really weird, but you have convinced me, as time has gone on and I've thought about it more, that I need to give this movie a rewatch once it comes into streaming, because this is a very interesting take on the world of fashion, on the world of capitalism, on the world of just really everything that we associate ourselves with in the world of clothes.
Yeah, it definitely is a critique on capitalism, on working conditions. So I think your feelings on those subjects and how you feel about a criticism of those, that's going to really shape how you interpret this movie and how you absorb it. I do agree that it's very weird, and it's sort of like an assault on the eyes. It's so busy and almost cartoonish at points. So I think there are things that you kind of miss on a first watch that I think I'll even like more when I rewatch it, so I can kind of just absorb little points that I missed because I was too busy paying attention to another section of the screen.
And I was also trying really hard to just follow the story, and then it was just like, oh my gosh, you're throwing a lot of colors and set design and stuff. This is almost like a female speed racer sort of aesthetic thing. But I will say where this movie shines is in the costume design and in the acting as well. The three main people in Keke Palmer, Taylor Page, and Naomi Ackie.
I think they're wonderful. I think they do an excellent job. It's a great portrayal of friendship, and I like seeing their relationships with each other, their relationships with other people, their relationships with their boss. I know that you were a big fan of Will Poulter
Will Poulter in this movie.
As the bad boss archetype in this film. I know that this isn't for everyone, but for the people that like this type of experimental, weird cinema, I think it's going to really hit for them.
Shouldn't just say that Will Poulter is the bad guy boss. He's the bad guy middleman manager is what he is.
He's the bad guy middle manager.
The
for sure.
villain in this movie is played by Demi Moore, who's really never taken on a true, I guess you could say, villainous role, and I think she plays it to perfection.
She's really good. She's doing a lot of like physical acting with this, the way she moves her hands, the way she moves her face. She's really getting, I don't know who she is doing a parody of, if she's basing the character on actual real life people, but she's doing a lot to really get into this character, and I think she does a really good job.
You can definitely tell that she's taking inspiration from some fashion icons, but at the same time, she's really making it her own.
Right. I think it is a really good performance on her end, but I do think that the core trio, that they are what give this movie so much heart. This is, if you like Boots Riley's other films, like I'm Sorry to Bother You, I think you'll like this one also. It's very much in his style. You have to have a certain threshold for weirdness, but I think if you can get past that this is a really entertaining experimental film.
You talked about Boots Riley's other films, and I'm Sorry to Bother You. The star of that film, which is Lakeith Stanfield, also is in this movie, but plays a very minor role in this as well.
I like that he keeps using Lakeith Stanfield, because I like when actors when directors recycle their actors. Guy Ritchie does the same thing, oddly enough, with Henry Cavill. I feel like Henry Cavill is to Guy Ritchie as Lakeith Stanfield is to Boots Riley.
Christopher Nolan with Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, people have their favorites that they keep reusing.
Spielberg's, I think, the only big-time director that's never really recycled actors and actresses.
I think Richard Dreyfuss is in a couple, but I could be wrong.
Yes, but at the same time, like, no matter where it is, because there's only like 2 Christopher Nolan movies that Cillian Murphy's not in.
Fair enough. But back to I Love Boosters. I really like this direction. I really like that it's very different. If you're looking for something completely outside of the box, this is very outside of any box. It doesn't follow any plot structure. There are random characters who don't make sense for the plot, but somehow it all kind of works for me. If you can get past the weird factor, I think this is an enjoyable watch.
3 minutes left here. I wanted to pose this question to you. The ending of this movie is it has a good resolution, but it's kind of open-minded. Could this movie be greenlit for a sequel? Do you think it could work?
I don't think that he'll make a sequel to this movie. I think he'll probably make a movie in the same vein. Like
a same universe movie?
Maybe a same universe movie, like a same sort of dystopian society. He may try to reuse elements of this, but I don't think he'll make a direct sequel. I feel like he ties up this story kind of nicely at the end.
There is also one other actor that is in this movie that I did not know was in this movie. Had some speaking roles, and then when he came back at the end, I looked at you and I said, "Is that who I think it is?" And you later confirmed with me on that. I'm not going to spoil it for you because I think it kind of ruins the fun of it, because he's in totally different. He looks totally different in this movie. I'll just say that.
Well, speaking of looking totally different, in another weird crossover between the two movies this week, Isa Gonzalez also has a role in this film, and she looks so out of character. She has like bleached eyebrows, bleached hair. She looks very alternative, which is a really interesting role for her to take. She plays sort of
a geeky IT person,
hacker, a wise hacker stoner character. But she's really, I find her much more interesting in this movie than I did in The Gray. I think this sort of fits in her wheelhouse a little more, and maybe I just liked this character more, but I thought she did a much better job with this one.
1 minute left here. I want to give Keke Palmer her flowers as well.
Keke Palmer does a fantastic job. I think she's great in everything. I think she's so captivating to watch. One of Them Days was one of my favorite movies of last year. I think she returns another great performance. She has such good comedic timing, but she also is good at handling drama and darker moments. In this film, her character is a lot more introspective and a little bit sadder than we usually see her play, and I think she does it really well.
20 seconds here. Celeste, see this, stream this, or skip this?
This is a see it for me. It's a see it in theaters and then watch it at home later to pick up on all the stuff that you missed.
I'm going to just go stream it on this one, unfortunately. I do agree it is fun in the theater. I'm glad I went to see it, but maybe for the casual moviegoer, just keep this at home. All right, we'll wrap things up right after this. wrapping things up here on episode 4 of See It, Stream It, Skip It. And once again, most of the movies that we have reviewed, at least some of them are still playing in theaters. I know Obsession, we talked about last episode, and it is absolutely killing it at the box office.
Yeah, it's only gone up since we talked about it.
So be sure to check out our previous episodes of that, talking about Obsession and Mandalorian and Grogu, which is a good movie as well. Good family movie to take all the kids to, especially if you grew up a Star Wars fan and all that good stuff. But we have stuff to promote. So Celeste, I will ask you, what are we going to be talking about next week?
So next week we're going to be talking about Masters of the Universe and Pressure. I'm very excited for Masters of the Universe, but I'm a little bit cautious because Mortal Kombat 2 was such a letdown. And I hope that Masters of the Universe doesn't fall into the same sort of trap of too over the top, too goofy. I hope it has a little bit of goofiness, but I also hope that it's just entertaining and fun to watch.
Well, this is an absolutely stacked cast in Masters of the Universe. One of the guys from Sheep Detectives is the one who plays He-Man, and then there's a bunch of others as well. However, there is a little bit of a curse going on. And by curse, I mean Skeletor is being played by Jared Leto, and he is box office cursed.
Yeah, he has been poisoned to all of the films that he's been in recent memory.
I think the last one that he actually did, I don't know if Haunted Mansion was a box office success, but he was in that, and it was a good movie, I guess, which you still question all the time. Was he actually in that movie? Yes, he was in that movie.
I completely forgot that he was in it. I mostly remember that Lakeith Stanfield was in that movie, who we just talked about. But yeah, I don't remember Jared Leto being in it. He's not going to be visually in the film.
Kind of like Haunted Mansion.
Yeah, he's going to be all CGI because he's playing Skeletor. So maybe that will help.
I was about to say, so you grew up kind of watching this cartoon.
No, I never watched the cartoon. It was kind of vaguely in the background. It's one of those things that I've absorbed through culture, but that I don't have a huge understanding of what happens in the He-Man universe.
Next movie we're talking about is Pressure with Brendan Fraser in it, and this is based on a true story.
Yeah, it's some of the background that was happening prior to D-Day. Pressure in the title refers to the mounting pressures of D-Day, but also to pressure as in weather pressure, so like storms. It's a weather movie, but interesting, hopefully.
Yeah. Weather and political movie, I guess you could call it.
Yes, weather and war. The two W's.
Weather and war. About World War II, weather and war. Yeah. Anyway, also, we're going to be getting our first bonus episode out there that is for streaming only. We're going to be talking about our favorite Steven Spielberg movies with Disclosure Day coming in just next week. Can you believe it, Celeste? Next Thursday, we're going to be able to get to see Disclosure Day.
I'm having such a hard time that it's already June.
Yes.
The summer's almost over already. It's just such a weird sensation that May felt like it passed in a second. So the good news is, though, that we have a bunch of good movies coming out right around the corner. We don't have to wait very long. So
it's summer blockbuster time, and we're going to be doing bonus episodes that will be on our streaming wherever you get your podcasts once a month. I've been going back and forth with you and saying, ooh, think of all these bonus episodes we could do with Christopher Nolan, and then we have like I'm trying to think off the top of my head. We'll probably do our favorite top 5 Marvel movies when Doomsday comes out. We'll probably do, I'm trying to think here. Top 5 Valentine's Day movies. I think we said something about sports movies.
I've also been really pitching that we should just do a very in-depth look at the horror that's happened this year so far. We've been talking about it briefly, but I'd love to have a little more time to discuss all these horror features.
All right, that's going to do it for episode 4 of See It, Stream It, Skip.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.